liking that.
Can you hear the music, Hutch?
Yeah, I'm digging it. I like that.
5x5 in the chat. Are we 5x5?
Hey, I ain't gonna lie. You might have to send me that one.
You like that?
Doesn't swing his back. It's just right. You know what I mean? It's nice.
Yeah. Arkansas said 2x4. I try to run it a minute, y'all. That way we don't end up cussing or something and messing stuff up for YouTube to be sharing and whatnot. What's going on, Ashley? What's up? Tiger, Monique, Michigan Outpost, True American, Loretta, SKM Keith, L. Bryan, what's up? Arkansas's living, Debbie Sims, what up? All right, let me go cut this music, man. Let's get into it. Gia, I'll send it to you, Hutch. I'll send it to you.
Yeah.
So what's going on with y'all, man? What's going on? I know it's kind of a surprise live, man. We wasn't really planning on this, but I was just sitting around, and everybody else was sitting around like, man, let's just go live, man. Let's talk about this stuff, man. All the stuff that's going on, there's a lot of stuff going on, man. Hell of a lot. You been keeping up with it, Hutch?
I've been keeping up with a lot of it, but there's man, once you get past the there's a universe worth of news out there, man.
I swear. Yes, indeed. Virginia Roos, what's up? So y'all in the chat, man. Y'all been seeing all this shit going on. There's so many different things that's hitting. And I know there's a lot of channels talking about stuff, and, you know, everybody's talking about it. So, you know, we want to too, you know what I mean? You know, we got some thoughts on it and whatnot, from the smallpox stuff that's hitting to the Russians. I mean, they blowing up satellites and not telling nobody and warning nobody. Then in Maryland, where I live, there's a monkeypox. Somebody caught monkeypox. It's crazy, man. Oh, phone ringing. My bad. Then there's, you know, young Dolph, man. Another young rapper, man. You know, taking off the planet, man. He's gone, man. They shot him and killed him outside of a cookie shop. You know, I mean, how many of these guys are getting killed, man? You know what I mean? Young America just being wiped out. Famous ones. You know, these dudes are famous, man. There's a bunch of them in the past couple years just being wiped out. Like, I just wonder. I wonder if it's like signs or something, like, you know, God's making these young cats famous, and then he's calling them home. You know what I mean? Like, what's up with that, man? What's going on with that?
It's almost like it could be like a life lesson kind of thing. You know, it's the live by the sword, die by the sword mentality. You know what I mean? Eventually, your culture can come back around to get you. So, you know, yeah. Like Native says all the time, you know, it's a culture war, and that's just kind of the culture we live in anymore. It seems like, you know what I mean? Yeah,
but it just seems awful weird, man, that it just keeps happening over. It's like every couple months, man. Some famous young person is just being wiped out, taken off the planet, man. Gone. No more. It's kind of deep, man. It's weird. What's up, Pop B? What's going on with you, brother?
Not much, man. Trying to do the damn thing, man. Trying to do something. Anyways, I've been all jacked up today, so I'm just trying to get something done. We got all these wars be waging, young cats raging off. Oh, talk about the young Dolph.
Yeah, man. It's just crazy to me, man. Like, but he was in his hometown. You know, he's a rapper in Memphis, man. Memphis ain't no joke, man. Memphis is wild. Like, people don't pick up on that. If you don't know, you don't know. But Memphis ain't no joke, man. Them boys don't play around out there. It's another Chicago. It may not be as bad as Chicago, but it's pretty damn bad. You know what I'm saying?
See, that's the thing, is a lot of people don't realize that. Everybody looks at Chicago as like, oh my God, it's the highest death rate. You know, look. But these small towns like Arkansas, Little Rock, Memphis, Wichita, per capita, they're making these big cities look like nothing, really. You know what I mean? It's these small cities that are actually thugging it up like that, for real, for real. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. It's wild, man. It's wild. Y'all, did y'all hear about that Little Rock incident where it was two men had I don't know if I mentioned this on a live stream or not. I know I talked about it backstage with some of y'all, but there was two men in Little Rock. They admitted to trafficking a 6-year-old, and I don't know what words to use so we don't get cut off, but they actually admitted to sex with it. You know what I mean? I mean, what the hell, man? What's up with that?
Yeah, that's everywhere though. There was we had a Homeland coming in my neighborhood, and I live in the suburbs.
Right.
They came in, they rolled up a dude and took his computers and everything, and it was an assistant principal.
Jeez.
For child porn.
Why is that running so rampant, man? Why is this everywhere? You hear about it it's just what the fuck is going on with human beings, man, to where they want to mess with kids so much, man?
It's a sickness.
And why are they trying to make it? You hear some of these people out here trying to make it like it's normal. Like, oh well, they just are attracted to.
Yeah, they want pedophilia to be a protected sexual class, just like homosexuality.
Yeah, what the fuck, man?
Minor attracted persons or something like that.
Yeah.
And if you don't wait, man, it'll get worse if that starts getting accepted by the loud voices. Not the majority of people, but the loud voices. That starts getting accepted, and all of a sudden you're going to get demonized for speaking out against it.
Yeah.
Well, you see, they already did that in California when they made that 10-year gap in San Francisco.
Holy shit!
So you can have a 24-year-old man with a 14-year-old boy is perfectly legal because you've got that 10-year gap. That's what it is right now. That's official law right now in San Francisco in the Bay Area.
Man, that's crazy, man. Crazy, man. I'm watching the chat, man, seeing what they say, man, because you know they get it in just like we do, man.
That's what everybody's talking about, you know, the media and the politicians and shit, but everybody knows Hollywood's a problem, and that's where all that debauchery and nasty shit's coming from. You know, they're sexualizing toddlers, and we're surprised that these things are happening. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the place to burn down. You know what I mean? You want to save your culture, I'm just saying.
Yeah, because they're the most dangerous, man. They have the most reach to reach out to people's eyes and ears and make them start believing that it's okay. And it's not really us that's going to believe it. They're hitting up, they're attacking the kids, and then they're hitting up kids' minds and eyes and ears on the TVs and on the radios and on the social medias, to where they're growing up seeing these things and it's becoming normal to them. So when they get older, you know, they've been doing this stuff with all kinds of shit, and they're going super hard in the past. I don't know. I can't put years on it, but I mean, they're coming at the kids hard, man, with cartoons, different shows. I mean, like that cutie show on fucking Netflix. What the hell was that, man?
Full blown
sexualizing kids. Making it a normal process, man.
Yeah, man. I swear, man, people talk about it like it's, you know, I don't even know what words we can use and shit, man, but I'm just going to talk. If the live makes it, it makes it. If it don't, it don't. But it's like Satanism and shit, man. These people, you know, even the people that, like, this is the way I look at it. You don't have to wear a shirt saying I'm a Satanist and go around preaching you're a Satanist. To be a Satan, you can be a Satanist and not even know you're being a Satanist. You're just a piece of crap doing piece of crap stuff, and you're just no good. You know what I mean?
That's the problem. Ain't nobody ever been told no. How many people walking around here that've been doing this damn thing have actually had to face real consequences for anything in their life? You bet. You know what I mean?
Right.
At some point, what do they say? You got to hit rock bottom to actually make a conscious decision to turn your life around. And, you know, to me, that's the whole point of the prison system, is to do all that. But if you've got these people running around here diddling kids and stuff, and all they're getting is a slap on the wrist, and you get 5 years for ruining this, this 3-year-old's life. What lesson are they going to learn from that shit? You know what I mean?
Right.
I can do it. It's a bullshit system, and it's all set up to propagate that kind of nastiness.
Think about the next generation. They're kids. So you get all these 10 and 12 and whatever 13-year-olds sitting there getting hypersexualized in school and all these other places, and then they're going to turn around and have kids. Hopefully not too young, but they're going to turn around and have kids. What are they going to allow their kids to go through? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
How bad does it get, or does what they go through change their mind when they get older, and then they change what their kids do, what they're brought up in? I'm just saying.
Yeah, no doubt, man. And you got to look at this too, like us three up here, and a lot of us in the chat. We're older, so when we go back on, let's just say music. When I was coming up, man, you had like Jodeci and Keith Sweat and soft rock, and they would sing to the ladies like, I want to take you out and wine and dine you, and please don't leave, I love you, I love you. But the music now, that's a lot of these kids nowadays, they don't know about our music unless the parents was playing it in the living room or something like that. Like, it's up to the parents really. But now all they're hearing is hose this, and I want to bend you over and let me put it in my mouth, and all this kind of crazy shit, man. I mean, what?
They get vulgar as shit on the radio now.
Yeah, man, it's absolutely crazy, man.
Just barely beep out just enough where you still know what the fuck they're saying.
And I for one, I'm not against. I think we had 2 Live Crew back in the days. I'm not saying that these people should be shut down or anything like that. Only thing I'm saying is there's not a balance now whatsoever. There's way more harsh stuff being put out, and stuff that is really it's just not that good for the children. Well, as back in our day.
There was explicit stuff, but it was subtle. Hot for Teacher and stuff like that. That was subtle.
I don't know. Mine was Too Short Cocktails. That's what I started on. There's no subtlety in that.
I'm just saying, if you listen to some of the songs now, they literally say, I'm going to fuck you all night, and I'm going to, they get dirty. Like, explicit in their lyrics. I have to change the radio station all the time when I'm waiting to drop off my kids at school.
Yeah, even just on regular radio.
But look now. Look, you think about kids. And chat, if you agree with me, give me a press 1. But if you look at the kids, man, now, not only are they hearing all these things in this music and stuff, but it's almost cool to be putting yourself in such a situation where you'll get gunned down in the streets. That's how you get clout. I mean, look at all these young rappers that are getting killed, and all these kids are looking up to them, man, and they're starting to see that, oh, well, this is normal to be killed at 22 years old when you're famous. That's how you become, a superstar, is if you get killed.
Well, when you're 11 years old, do you want to idolize your dad going to a boring ass 9 to 5 when you're 11 years old, or do you want that dude that's driving up in that damn Lamborghini or that Rolls Royce for no apparent reason? You know what I mean?
Yeah. But how can we protect our kids from this shit? Chat. I mean, we with y'all tonight, man. Y'all are with us tonight. We ain't gonna leave you out tonight. But how do we? I mean, I think it comes down to the parents. Like, I'm a hard-ass parent, man. I was hard on my kids, you know what I mean? Like, not hard to where I was just a dick and beating on them and shit like that, but I was hard, I told them straight up, I didn't hold no car. Like, you ain't gonna be doing none of that bullshit, man. My saying to my sons was, be cool with the fellas and sweet to the girls. That was, be cool with the fellas and sweet to the girls. And it stuck with them. I told them that every day since kindergarten. And it stuck. But I don't know, man. A lot of these parents out here that, both the mom and dad are both working, they're not, they can't keep, you can't handcuff your kid to you 24/7. So how do you protect them from social media, music, movies, TV, other kids that don't have parents that try to discipline them and they're just buck wild? I mean, in these schools,
you kind of got to lead by example, because I mean, like the woman empowerment kind of thing. It's right now they're saying, hey, to be a strong woman, you can have 10,000 sexual partners and never need a man. You know what I mean? And they're pushing that kind of thing. Your sexuality is your worth, is what.
Yeah.
And we've even got, like, in this own community, we've got people who are, sorry, show me your tits, to married women who are, you know what I mean, who are preaching this patriotic family type lifestyle, but yet, even amongst ourselves, it's one of those things where you feel like you can just disrespect this family like this by asking this, and that's, so it's in our culture too. It's everywhere. It's just the over sexualization of everything. There's no boundaries anymore. You know what I mean? Nobody wants to take responsibility for their own shit.
Let me ask you this, or unless you had something, Pop B.
I was just gonna say, man, I don't shield them from much of anything. I just limit the exposure of bullshit that goes into their head, and then I talk to them all the time. I constantly ask them what they're learning and talk to them and ask what they're talking about with their friends. And I'll bring up stuff when something comes on the radio or anything like that. I'll look at my daughter and I know she knows what they're saying, and I'll have a conversation with her. You know what I mean? Like I'll try to get ahead of it. I'll say it that way.
Right, no doubt. I wonder, man, do we have a responsibility on these YouTube channels? YouTube is huge, especially for young folks. The video gaming, the music, the video where they, do the reviews on the videos. Like, kids watch a lot of YouTube.
Yeah.
And we're free to cuss, talk about a lot of different stuff. But should we really be double checking ourselves, man? Even in this community, like, man, I don't think that a lot of kids watch prepping shows. But at the same time, man, I do a lot of cussing on my show. We talk about a lot of deep stuff that, kids should not probably watch some of the stuff we put out. You know what I'm saying? Right. Should we just stop doing it? Or how do we build our responsibility towards kids as we're doing YouTube? You know what I mean?
Hey, I don't have a big issue with cussing. I try not to sound completely unintelligent all the time by just using cuss words. But to me, it's only bad words because we make them bad. Right. You know what I mean? If I'm using it in the context and I'm slandering my kids with words like that, it's a different story. But me just using it because I'm excited or I'm like, I stubbed my toe. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not going to be like cherry pops.
I think people put too much concern on the shit that doesn't matter. Like, I don't want my 12-year-old to hear somebody say shit or ass. Well, but you can let her watch some chick twerking on a tampon commercial on TV. What's the difference? You know what I'm saying? We get mad at the wrong things because we got this false sense of, this is supposed to be bad, so I'm going to say it's bad. But why? Reprioritize and find out what's actually fucking your kids' heads up.
Yeah. No doubt, man. It's interesting, man. People in the chat, everything they're saying, what y'all are saying, man. We didn't even plan on talking. We just go wherever we go with this stuff, man. You know what I'm saying? There's so much going on, man. But I am thinking about kids, man. I'm worried about them. You hear about these people doing things to them, man, and the shit that I see. You see these talk shows or these people get in front of a camera and they're sitting there talking about, pedo stuff and making it normalized. And I'm like, is this? I would think that dude would be arrested. If you get in front of a camera and put out a video trying to normalize that shit, I think you should catch a charge.
It's a threat like any other. You're threatening the safety of children.
Yeah, you damn right.
And you're enticing. You're trying to sit there and tell people that it's all right.
Yeah.
People will look at that too, but like, well, I saw so and so on a video, and they were like, oh yeah, and I was like, oh, there's nothing wrong with me, and he goes out there and does the stupid ass shit they do.
Yeah, and they're instigating the already messed up in the head people that do it anyway. We see it and we get outraged and we want to, attack. But the people that are those type of people, they sit there and watch it and they're like, praising them. Like, oh, yeah, hell yeah. Oh, thank you so much. It's like, what the man. Shit.
Do you think a lot of rise in sex crime is because over the last couple generations or so, the killing of the testosterone and all that shit, you thinking that's making men feel inferior, so they're just trying to escape to do that? Does that make sense?
Like they're going for younger because they feel inferior for.
Well, it's like because my logic is sorry, this might be crude, but I don't see why any rape should ever happen for any reason, because there are so many whores out there that it will literally give it away for free. So you know what I mean? I don't understand the logic of it other than a power trip. So are we seeing more rises in this kind of thing because these men are like pretty much beta men and they feel helpless, and maybe a child's the only way to make them feel more, does that make sense?
I don't even know, man. It's hard for me to even think about it without I just get mad and like, well, just, wipe them out.
Right. Without question.
Just get rid.
One shot done, easy, quick. I don't give a damn. No excuses. But if you want to combat the problem before it happens, you got to kind of figure out, the psychology behind it. That way you can, you know what I mean?
Hey, for some of those people, it's a fantasy thing. It's not so much of it is domination and stuff like that, but it's a fantasy thing. I had a girlfriend long freaking time ago, and she wanted to do role playing that way, and it freaked me the fuck. I was like, I'm good. We're good on this. Like, I don't need someone sitting there. I don't know. It got weird, but it was a fantasy of hers, and I was like, man, that's just it's too over the top for me. You know what I mean?
So does that come back to the desensitization of sexuality? Like, I mean, if you grow up from 9 years old to 15-year-old watching this ridiculous stuff that you can find on the internet for free, by the time you get to a real woman, it means absolutely nothing. You know what I mean? Mentally wise, it literally does nothing for you. You need that nasty extreme, you know what I mean, to get to where you need to get.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, man. Y'all going deep with it, man. I ain't want to go that damn deep.
Okay.
Rewind real quick.
I just don't want. I don't want to get into the mind of a pedo, man. I don't. It's not. I just say fuck them, wipe them out, get them out of here. Every last one of them. I don't feel sorry for them. I don't think I don't care what happened to them when they were young. If you got fucked up and you're messing with fucking kids, you should be wiped out, period. That's all there is to it. You shouldn't have no place on this earth, period. It should be wiped. And it's something that we should be able to do as a civilization, as human beings. We should be able to come together and say, look, we can protect the kids. It's the least we can fucking do. Our future will be better if the kids don't go through this traumatic shit. Plain and simple. It's not that fucking hard, but instead there's a bunch of sick motherfuckers and a bunch of rich elite sick motherfuckers who can't keep their dick in their pants and they want to fuck around with little kid, and it enrages me. You know what I'm saying? And it's not just the rich elites neither. It's all kinds of different fucking people. Go and look at there's a website you can go and you can find people right in your neighborhood. There's a ton of them. It's all over the fucking place. Just a bunch of fucking weirdos. You know what I'm saying? And it's not fucking normal. They will not, as long as I'm alive and my voice can be heard. I know I only got a couple thousand people, that listen, but still at the same time, as long as my voice is being heard, they will never be able to normalize it in my circle. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Sick bastards. But man, let's move on to something else, man, because it's just gonna do nothing but piss me off, man.
Anyway, so
fuck them.
What's up, man?
But I do want to tap into some stuff tonight. I'm gonna hit the chat up real quick, man. We were talking backstage before we hit because there's so much going on. I think we could talk about a bunch of different stuff, but I sure would like to talk about this Russian satellite stuff for a little bit. I'd like to talk about this smallpox stuff. And I don't know how much we can get away with on YouTube, but I mean, it's not banned yet, so I don't see why we can't talk about it yet. Because I just think it goes way deep, man. I watched Marfugal, and he put out a little 20-minute video about it. And man, I just can't believe some of the stuff that's going on with this. You got Bill Gates once again coming out warning the world about something's going to happen. Now, this happened back in 2020, right before 2020 hit. Bill Gates and all his cronies were doing their little meeting for a week and having little scenarios and all that shit. And then all of a sudden, boom, bam, bip, 2020 hits. Now you got Bill Gates talking about this smallpox stuff. And what happens? A couple days later, they find some smallpox vials in some place where they're not supposed to be. And nobody know, oh, well, where did these come from? And now they're also putting in, what, $170 million into stocking up on smallpox vaccines? What the fuck is going on here, man? What, I mean, they're talking about, weaponized smallpox. I mean, what the fuck is going on, man? What do we got to worry about now? What, the first one didn't work good enough, so now they got to come out with something that's just tremendously... They say that if this smallpox thing hit, it could kill up to 30 million people. That's a lot of fucking people, man.
Was that just in the U.S.?
I'm not sure, man. I'm not sure.
I mean, I'm serious. 8, almost 8 billion people. 30 million is kind of like a, you know what I mean? But if it's
still a lot of fucking people.
No, it's a lot of people. It is a lot of people. But if it's like primarily in the U.S. and Europe and stuff like that, I mean,
then it's even more. I got you.
I don't like it.
Anybody in the chat, could any of y'all look that up and see if it's 30? It's out there somewhere. I know some of y'all are geniuses when it comes to searching for something real quick. I know they put out something saying
worldwide. What's that? 30 million worldwide. 30 million worldwide. 30 million? That's what you're trying to figure out.
Yeah, is it 30 million worldwide or is it 30 million just in the U.S.?
Here, I got you.
30% kill
right here, because it's been around for ever. It says it's fatal in 30% of people that get cases.
That's crazy, man. 30% kill rate.
There's a statistic that's more on the lines of, oh fuck.
All right, so tell me this. What's 30%? All right, let's say there's what. There's 7 billion people on the planet. Let's say there's 7 billion people on the planet. Let's say half catch this smallpox. So let's just say it's 3 billion people. What's 30% of 3 billion people?
Bro, it's even. We're almost at 8 billion now.
All right, so let's say it's 4 billion people. What's 30% of 4 billion?
300, 600, 1.2 million, or I mean,
1.2 billion.
One.
It'd be 30 million for every billion, right? Or 300 million for every billion.
Yeah.
So 4 times 3, that would be 1.2 billion people.
Goodness gracious. God.
Okay, check this out. From the insider, Bill Gates thinks a coming disease could kill 30 million people within 6 months and says we should prepare for it as we are due for war.
Look when it was written.
It was written in 2018, April 27th.
Yeah.
And they're pumping it up now. They're coming at us hard now with it, though. And now they're finding the vibe.
Can I throw a rabbit hole idea or theory out there real quick?
All right.
So when we had Barry in there, we had the H1N1. Hurt more people than the shit we got going on now, right? But it literally never made any headlines. Nobody really did give two shits about it, right? Do you guys remember anything about H1N1? It was just kind of it's there, and you know what I mean. It wasn't no thing. Then they come up with this stuff now. It ain't really statistically, it ain't shit, but the hype is freaking people out. So maybe they're like, okay, well, this one didn't work this way. This one didn't work this way. Maybe we just need to go old school and bring it back. You know what I mean? So we can get the numbers and the fear. You know what I mean? Because it seems like they tried twice. Once they got the numbers, they didn't get the fear. This time they got the fear that they didn't get the numbers. The next logical step is to try to get them both together. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I feel you, man. I feel you. It's some scary shit. Man.
Because see, my son had the H1N1 shot. He had to get the vaccine for that to go to school. It wasn't no thing to us at the time because it was like, oh, okay, he's got to get it. Boom, So
right.
That's like that compared to what it is now, the 10-year contrast, it's crazy,
But let me say this, man, is the problem. I think the problem is, and what worries me is that they knew that this kind of thing would work against us is we're in an uproar right now across the entire world about this whole. If they hit us with something right now, we're not going to take it as serious if they would have hit us before 2020. If something were to really hit hard in 2020, really, really hard, we might. I don't know, man. It just seems like now we're so sick of hearing about all the fucking bullshit we've been through in the past 2 years that if something else comes along, we're gonna be at a disadvantage because people, I ain't putting on this, I ain't taking that. You know what I'm saying? And boom, bam, bip, they got us right where they want us.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what if that's the whole intention?
That's what I'm saying.
Make us complacent, and then go real rabbit hole, okay? And they do the cyber pandemic, and they do the smallpox at the same time. Ain't nobody communicating. You get hit so hard with something like that. It would be. I mean, if you ever want to reduce a population, that'd be a big one.
I mean, if you think about it too, coincidence. I mean, the timing of this, the giant red dragon, their people are starving, you know what I mean? They're running out of room, things are getting crazy. Maybe they need a tiny pandemic for some population control. You know what I mean? They can't, like, if we can't feed 2 billion people, if we get rid of 1 billion of them, then, you know, we can feed 1 billion people. You know what I mean? Maybe it's that kind of logic. It is communism. They're not above it. We've seen it, you know?
Yeah.
And you know, we got surpassed as the richest nation.
Right.
I'm just saying.
I'm just reading the chat. I didn't hear you, POTB. Would you say we got surpassed as the richest nation?
Yeah. According to it, I got to look more into it. But
I got you, Ohio Prepper. No doubt. I feel you, man. But man, they got us so confused. They got us so stuck on not believing anything that comes out of the news that I bet you a lot of people hear this smallpox shit and they're just like, whatever. So what? There was some vial somewhere. Somebody forgot to. No, man, this ain't no joke. This stuff it's so deadly and so bad that they'll only have it in 2 places in the entire world. It's only supposed to be in Russia and somewhere else.
Atlanta, CC.
Yeah, Atlanta, CC. And then all of a sudden there's 5 vials of this shit in Philadelphia somewhere that some cleaning crew could. I mean, just imagine if it would have been somebody who couldn't read, that was just a janitor or something. And they went in there to clean that shit and seen it and was like, oh shit, this might be some good stuff. Let me try this out. And then boom, there you go. Like, was it put there on purpose so a janitor would find it and release it? Like, what the fuck is going on, man?
Do you think that's the only place they got some of those?
Say what?
Do you think that's the only place they have some of those?
Nope.
I mean, do you think it's one little tiny, location in Philly? Or is it like they got caught? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, we already know about all those people that were getting busted carrying biological stuff across state lines, hopping on planes, going to other countries when they wasn't supposed to have it. I mean, they did news conferences and shit. If anybody that kept up on stuff in the past few years, people were getting busted for illegally transporting biological shit. I mean, we don't know what the hell's going on. And this is what gets me, man. And I'm just going to say it. I'm going to try to be careful because I don't want YouTube thinking I'm putting something out there. Like, this is just my thoughts. We have been so beaten down by the media. We have been so beaten down by the government. We've had so much shit happen between Trump and Biden and all this bullshit that goes on. What if we are in the middle right now of a W.A.R. and it's biological? You know what I'm saying? What if we are? I mean, think. When have we ever had it to where the entire world is being mandated to do such things? When have we heard so much? And when in our lifetime have we had a pandemic? When in our lifetime have we had to worry about other stuff as that pandemic was going on? When have we ever had to worry about a virus that could switch up so many damn times and completely become something else, a whole new variant this, whole new variant that? I mean, what the hell is going on, man? What, really? And people, and they're flooding us with information about so much different shit, and we don't believe this, we don't believe that, we want to trust this, we want to trust, and that we don't even see what's right in front of our faces, man. We are in the middle of it right now. Is that possible? Chat, press 1 if you're with me, if you feel where I'm going with this shit.
I mean, absolutely. I don't see why not, man. There's nothing. If we were talking about this like 3 years ago and we're like, this is what we're gonna be at, this is where we're gonna be, and this is what we're gonna have to deal with, it would all look crazy. I mean, like Looney Tunes crazy. But when you say stuff like that right now, it's like, yeah, it's not really that far fetched. It's be right there.
Yeah, man. And then you got other shit going on, like, you know, when they're okay. Let me say this: when there's a war going on, you have pistols, shotguns, long rifles, grenade launchers, tanks, helicopters, all this stuff, right? Well, if we're in a different war, a different style war, there's going to be different weapons. And look at all the different weapons being used, from hacking to all of a sudden a satellite up in space gets blown up and nobody that's, you know, out there working on the whatever it's called, damn it, I can't think of the fucking name, but the people are out there in space working, space station. They're not, they weren't even warned that they were going to try this new weapon out to take out a satellite, and now they got to duck and hide and try to bug out of a space station. That's what they pretty much told them, like, y'all need to bug out, man. The damn satellite's going to be coming at you. You know, what do you mean bug out, man? I'm in a damn space station.
It's like, hey, if you guys got an escape pod, you should probably go sit in that thing for a minute.
Yeah, what the fuck? Like, come on, man. And then you got all this hacking going on. Then you got the ships in the water, you know, stranded, can't get them unloaded. You got shortages. You got salmonella outbreak in 57 billion states. You got, you know, protests in the streets. You got all this shit going on, man. All these different weapons being used.
You got big players telling their people to get ready.
Yeah. Yeah.
Go get some extra food. Go get some extra this, extra that, and then those vials get. See, there's so many different ways all that stuff could go. It's almost mind numbing. You know what I mean?
It is, man. It is.
We are living history right now. Your grandkids and your grandkids' grandkids will look back in the history books at this time in America and be like before the shit started. You know what I mean? Just like people look back and they glamorize all these other fallen cultures and civilizations. You know, it's hey, this is what happened before their shit blew up. You know what I mean? That's literally what we're living right now. It's crazy.
And what did we learn, class?
It's unbelievable to me, man. And you know, the more we do this EWPN stuff, the more we do this EWPN stuff, the more I'm paying more attention even more now. You know what I mean? So it's like really, it's got me all twisted, man. It's like, damn, man, it's all adding up, man. It's too much, man. It's too much. This ain't normal. And I know we all know. I know I ain't saying nothing, you know, that all y'all ain't thinking already anyway. But, man, this just ain't cool, man.
Yeah. It's like... That's why, like, I'm glad that we got this EWPN going on, because it's more news than just what everybody's stuck on. Because, like I said, there's a universe full of news going on right now. Some of it affects your life, some of it doesn't. Some of it's interesting, some of it's not. But you know what I mean? It's what's going on. It's real stuff that's going on. It could play a factor, it could not. You know what I mean? But it's learning something other than being stuck in that same damn loop for 2 years. Hey, I'll never take it. Oh, you okay? We get it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's other things going on in this world that people need to know about.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, if you sat down and wrote down for the past 2 years, if you just sat down and wrote down what could possibly be a weapon being used against us, just by all the shit that's happened in the past 2 years, man, it would draw out. I bet you there's somebody right now that's writing a book that we're gonna read. You know, our grandkids, our great grandkids are gonna read and be like, holy shit, these people didn't even realize what they were going through. And the ones that didn't have enough power to do anything about it. Because there were certain evil men walking the planet that ruled with money and slave coupons. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. See, that's why I keep preaching that journaling stuff, man, because I'm keeping track of everything in my own opinion, pretty much what's going on. That way I can pass it down to my grandkids, and then they, eventually they can pass it down to theirs. Like, look, here's my account of what happened during this time. I don't give a damn what your teachers or your history book says. This is what we went through. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yep.
I still need to. I've got a story for the EWPN. I can do it tomorrow. I can do it right now for all I care. And I really do want to get it out there too about that that suing in New Mexico.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to watch it, man.
So, well, you want me to talk about it on here?
I don't care.
All right. So, if anybody in chat knows about this,
let's get this. This is a news drop from POTB here at EWPN.
Oh, what happened? Did it work?
Oh shit. Hopefully I can add it to the. Let me get rid of this first. I can get rid of it up here. Boom. Okay. Now let me bring this up. Boom.
All right. Well, actually, yeah, knocking out right now. So there was an ordeal that went on a while ago, 2020 and all that kind of stuff. All that stuff was full of unrest and armed militias and all this kind of stuff, right? Well, New Mexico DA says on the top, sues unauthorized militia group. Now they're talking about this and they're suing and going after Facebook for records, or Meta for records, which is actually surprising. They're holding strong right now. They're not giving up shit. I thought that was pretty impressive.
Wow.
But their issue is they're trying to sue these people, and they got a hiccup in their case because they need all this information and this stuff to use against them from their social media, from the people that are in their accounts and all that stuff. So they're trying to get all this information, but it's just messed up how they sit there and talk about all this stuff, and the verbiage they're using. It's literally like the first thing they said: a groundbreaking lawsuit in New Mexico could serve as a blueprint for how government officials deal with armed militia groups. Like I was talking about before, when they're sitting there and they're taking away your right for self-protection. They're taking away your ability for the whole purpose of the Second Amendment. You can't, because it's being made illegal. They're just blanketing rights with other laws, so you can't get to them. You know what I mean?
Right.
But anyway, so there's that, and the deal with Meta, the Facebook thing. But they keep going through this, and you guys can look up this. USA Today came out today for the article, but read the verbiage on it and go through it if you want to follow it, and especially if anybody in chat's part of any kind of group, this will directly affect you eventually.
You're talking about like mags?
Yeah, anything, dude. They talk about, where's it at? Hold on. Okay. Oh crap! Hold on. There was verbiage in here that said,
"Take your time, man. We ain't in no rush. We got you." I hope you do a video on this too, man, because hopefully it'll reach more people. You know what I mean? Because I know there's people on your channel that probably don't follow mine and stuff like that, man.
So they're talking about all the states, and they basically say every single state has bans on armed militia in some fashion, right? Which, I mean, that's their verbiage, not mine.
Right.
And they start talking about things that's criminal, and it's talking about paramilitary activity, which is literally just training with firearms.
Damn.
So you could get with your mag, and you could be going to the range and shoot, and that could be considered paramilitary activity. So all this stuff, man, anything you're doing, anytime you're out with your group or you're training or you're doing some fashion of mainly with firearms training, probably medical too, I don't know, because they're just talking about activities and training. And yes, primarily with firearms. But it's something you gotta look out for. Every time you post on any social media platform, it's just proof right here that they'll sit there and they'll go after it, and they'll try to attack those social media platforms and get any piece of incriminating information against you and just throw you under the bus because it goes and it fits their agenda. Now, why would they want to sit there and have a blueprint for how to treat armed militias in the U.S. right now when we're already at a state where no one trusts, the powers that be and all this kind of stuff?
Right. It's insane, man. It's insane.
Touchdown disappeared.
It's like they're coming at us on every corner of the earth that they can find us, man. Whether it's preppers, whether it's mags, whether it's groups. I mean, shit, man. What do you do? Well, it's kind of good. Hopefully, Facebook holds tight and doesn't fucking give these people information or something. And this is in our country. This is New Mexico, not Mexico, but New Mexico. Our state, New Mexico.
There was another part in here during this whole conflict. What they're talking about in New Mexico. Well, they're doing the same thing they did to Kyle Rittenhouse. Everyone's trying to play cop, and everyone's trying to do this, and they're trying to demonize them for whatever action they're doing, like standing up for property and people and all that kind of stuff. Whether you're on either side, it doesn't really matter. Just the actions are being demonized. But they have in here that there was somebody that got shot, right?
Hey, excuse the he's got a cold going on, folks. Just saying.
Oh, am I doing it a lot? I'm all jacked up, man. Throat
clearing. Wait, you go. Pop B's putting in the work, man. He's sick and he's still showing up for work, so we're good. Oh, big prayer, real quick. I don't mean to cut you off, Pop B, but real quick, native voice, man. We're prayers are with you, brother. We hoping you feel better. He's not feeling too well, and the wife wasn't feeling too well. Now he's not feeling too well, so hopefully everything they'll just get through it and be better in a couple days, and boom, he'll be back at it. Oh, I didn't mean to cut you off, man. I would have kept listening. It just popped in my mind, so I wanted to throw it out there.
No, it's important. It's important. But I wanted to bring it up. People can look it up, go into it. Not everything affects everybody. So if this is something that does directly affect you, well, for one, it affects every U.S. citizen. Depending on if you're for or against or anything like that, it's going to affect you somehow.
It is literally an attack on your first line of defense.
It is completely, and they're demonizing anybody who takes up arms to for self-defense of property in person.
No doubt.
There was a thing in here though, and they related it to a shooting that happened at the same event, and they even say in here, well, the militia didn't have anything to do with the shooting, but they were there and they were armed and dangerous, and they talk about it. And I was like, how are you going to bring up an unrelated event just so you can mention there was a shooting and relate it to, even though they had nothing to do with the shooting?
Right.
Well, because if you can set the surroundings to where you feel triggered, then it's not your fault for the actions that you do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's one of those kind of things. Like, it's not your fault you went over there and, burnt that building down. There were 6 people with guns around you. You freaked out. What could you do? That's literally the logic we're fighting right now.
Yeah.
How are you going to win that shit?
That just drove me crazy. I was reading it earlier today, and
It pretty much adds to the points that I was making earlier about all the different weapons being used right now. Like, that's just another weapon that they're trying to use. Facebook could be used as a weapon if Facebook puts up with it. You know what I mean? And YouTube and Twitter and Instagram. And I mean, how many people are getting locked up because they posted a picture on Instagram? Yeah. I've heard of a lot. You know what I mean? And they're gonna use it. I mean, social media is the biggest thing right now. I mean, it just is, man. It's changing the world. So they're gonna use everything on these computers that they can to take out whatever they want to take out, man. But why, man? Why? People have. It's like, oh, well, it's the Great Reset. Oh, it's the transitional period. And I'm not saying that's wrong. I'm not going against that. But what I'm saying is, what is the bigger picture, man? It's got to be bigger than what we're thinking. It's what are they looking at 20, 30, 40 years from now? Do they really just want us in pods and not associating with each other with headsets on, looking at a computer all day, and then we go to sleep, wake up, do the same thing, so we're not out and about and we won't be in the world, that they'll have the entire world and we'll all be stuck in pods like the Matrix?
Yeah, I get stuck because Well, the left is doing like career suicide. You know what I mean? Their ratings are dropping. People are obviously not happy with what they're doing. For a majority of people, why would you do that to your all your constituents, all your people that are going to sit there and vote you in and keep you in power? Why would you just train wreck everything you're doing and push through all this stuff and try to get everything rushed through? It doesn't make any sense to me, unless they know, something's happening sooner than later. And
well, if you've spent 50 years being told that you know better than the regular person,
yeah,
I mean, once you get to that certain point of senility, then you believe that shit. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like one of those, they feel like they know everything best because they've been doing it for this long. It's like if somebody comes up, if somebody comes up to you and tries, hey man, this is how you lay carpet. You're like, bitch, I've been laying carpet for 25 years. You can't tell me that. You know
right.
Imagine if you've been doing it for 50 years. Same kind of concept, but just add billions of dollars to your paycheck. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yep. And much more power to push your, I know everything. I'm almighty.
Because you've seen those people, like everybody's had that boss where they're in charge of like 5 people, and they're the biggest piece of shit that's ever walked the face of the planet just because they got that power. Now imagine if you could do that to 100 million people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You cannot stay grounded when you're literally in charge of millions of people's livelihoods. There's no possible way. Which brings back term. You know what I mean? At a certain point, you just get jaded to life and your job. There's no progression from there. It's just comfort. How do I make my job better? Fuck the other people. How do I make my job better?
Yeah. Hey, I want to tell everybody in the chat too, in case they didn't know. Tim Pool did a live stream last night. As we were live, I think he was live too, man. He had over 100,000 people in his chat. He had Joe Rogan, Alex Jones, and a bunch of other people. He was sitting on the side of the road in a camper, and everybody showed up. They were doing a live stream right in his camper, sitting on the side of the road. But I'm telling you, man, it was one of the best live streams I think I've ever seen. Joe Rogan was talking about the brainwashing being done to people, and how the media, how when they push their propaganda or they, lie about this and lie about that, and put this stuff in our minds, how it really affects people. He's way better at it. I'm no fucking Joe Rogan by far, and none of these guys. I'm not one of the. But what he was saying, man, was so eye opening and so true. If y'all get a chance, check it out. Joe Rogan's there for like an hour and a half or something. He couldn't stay the whole time, but man, it's such a good live stream, and they hit on some really good shit, man. That Joe Rogan, man, he don't go too far. He's pretty, straightforward. It's not something that's too much to where like that. He's like, he pretty much facts and stuff, man. He hits points, man, and it was so good, man. And it was so true, man. We're being brainwashed into believing. They were talking about the whole Rittenhouse thing and how most people, they're not watching the trial. They got to work. They got kids to take care of. They're, going out in their gardens, doing their gardening. They're washing their cars. They're living life. They're not sitting around spending every minute looking at the Rittenhouse thing. And they were talking about how these people that were in the live stream, they were saying that they would be talking to their friends. And they would ask their friend, hey, man, have you seen the Rittenhouse thing? And they're like, yeah, a little bit. And they're like, well, what do you think about it? Oh, he's guilty as hell. What's he doing running around shooting people in the streets? And they're like, well, did you know that this happened? And they were like, really? I've seen it on the news 20 times. They've never mentioned that. And it's true, man. It's like, we all know that the news, with their bullshit, they can sit there and make anything seem like something else, and it's not even true. It's not the real story. It's not really what's going on. And that's brainwashing, because if you have 100 million Americans that go to WNBC or Fox News or whatever, and they're putting these things into your mind and you don't get the real story, that's what you're going to believe. And if 100 million people believe it, then that's what the hell it is, even though it isn't what it is. You know what I'm saying? It's nuts, man. It's just nuts. I'm sorry, I'm going off. Y'all are probably getting bored with me running my mouth, but it's insane, man, how they can do this to so many people. Now shut up, man. Press one. What, I digress. Is that the word? I digress. Anything, fellas? Anything, fellas? Bail me out here. Bail me out.
Hey, you were rolling. If you do that for about another 45 minutes, you got a show, man.
I'm hyped up tonight, man. I'm seeing all this shit going on, man. Checking out, different. Like Joe Rogan and them, and then you sit there and you watch Marfugal, and then you read all these things, and then I got Nisi telling me all these things, and then I'm seeing all these things, and it's like, holy shit, man, this is just really boiling up, man. The water is boiling over.
Well, we don't have to get out yet. Just let it burn up, man. Okay?
The chair is against the wall. The chair is against the wall.
Oh, God.
Who you got with you, Pop B? Somebody sneaking there over to the left.
Yeah, wifey came in.
Is she trying? She's like, get the hell off this stream. Get the hell off this stream. We're gonna have the CIA here tomorrow.
Right.
She'd probably be calling them out more than me.
Save yourself. Save yourself.
She'd be the one that when they knock on the door, she'd open like, get the fuck out of here.
Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah.
What do y'all feel about the getting rid of the thumbs down button?
What?
I think it's complete bullshit. Because no matter what, and I don't like the thumbs down button just because I think that haters and people that are just trying to sabotage your channel will use stuff like that against you and stuff like that. But yeah. I mean, you think about Amazon. What if they took away all the bad reviews on Amazon? How would you know something is a piece of crap? You know what I mean? Like you can't take away people's feelings about something. Like stop trying to if we don't like something, we should be able to say, hey, look, we don't agree with this. We don't like it. I'm gonna put a thumbs down on this. This is totally wrong in my opinion. Why can't we have that? What's the problem?
See, the way I'm thinking is that it could be a bigger picture kind of thing, because you notice on the White House's official YouTube page, it has 10,000 more dislikes per like. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
And then you hear that CNN and all them other big boys are trying to, what's going on, Miss POTV?
I don't know where this camera is.
Hello.
Hey.
All the media is trying to make a rush toward YouTube because they see that's where all the people are going. So I'm thinking they're kind of in bed with big tech to like, hey, let's kind of try to hide the hate and make it more of a comfortable cushion for us, CNN and come in and take over the social media, because know they're jealous of it. Because you got YouTube creators that are doubling and tripling CNN numbers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're not happy about that shit. So it might be a bigger picture thing. You know what I mean? Because if you don't know 10,000 people hate this video, then you're going to be like, okay, if I like it, I like it. But if you see 10,000 thumbs, you might be compelled to do a little bit of trolling yourself. Like, oh, damn, all these people talking shit, let me add on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
One of those.
The masses, man. The masses.
And also this, let's say this. Let's say somebody does a video on smallpox. And let's say it gets 10,000 thumbs down. Then that might make people go and do some research on their own about smallpox and really learn facts about it, because whoever did that video might be putting out bullshit, might be putting out lies. And I'm just saying smallpox because I don't think we can get in trouble yet for talking about smallpox. But other things, if y'all know what I'm talking about, they're trying to block. It's censorship, man. It's censorship. It's another form of censorship. And it's probably bigger than what we think. You know what I mean? They probably know stuff that we have. No, I'm not no technical dude. I've never dealt with stuff like this. You know what I mean? I make some YouTube videos, man. I'm an amateur at being an amateur. So right. I mean, it is what it is. But I mean, these dudes, they know what they're doing, man. They're slick.
You figure for every one thing that they come out publicly with, there's probably 10 things behind the scenes that they're doing just to add on to it, you know, that you'll never know about.
I mean, are they slick, or are they just trying to always play catch up? Like, why would you go after the thumbs down now instead of planning for it beforehand? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Well, they weren't actually going after the culture this hard before, though. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, the whole, and I think that was one of the bad things about Trump. I think Trump stirred up the hornet's nest when it came to this shit. So when he left, man, he left the bag, man. With all these Democrats and all this stuff, they went so super hard. You know what I mean? So maybe, yeah, it was cool to hear him call, media out for being fake. Yeah, it was cool for him for us to hear, him shit on Twitter or shit on Facebook. But in all actuality, did it really help anything? I don't think so. I think it made it worse because it made them go super hard. You know what I mean?
But sometimes maybe it had to get worse to get better. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If this whole thing was planned out to begin with, if they really thought Hillary was going to get in there, then they didn't expect this division. You know what I mean? They thought it was just going to be like when Barry was in, there's some people talking shit in the background, but it's the status quo. You know what I mean? So I think that kind of threw them off their game a little bit. Now they're just acting like petty little spoiled kids. You know what I mean? Like, take my sucker, you little son of a bitch. I'm going to burn your house down. You know, one of those kind of things.
Right. I don't know, man. It's crazy stuff, man. Crazy stuff. Did y'all hear about this? Not to change the subject or anything, but I want to get everything in tonight that we can. Did y'all hear about these storms going on and like Nisi knows this stuff. I can't remember everything, but like Canada, Canada had to like evacuate a bunch of people because of a pump that wasn't going to be able to uphold all the flooding, and it was going to be like catastrophic. And they got a bunch of it's hitting. I think it's hitting the northwest of the United States too. If anybody's out there, like Rip Curl might know some things about it. He's probably up on it even more than me. I just wanted to bring it up. Maybe people in the chat, y'all have done some reading on it, but it's like some serious shit going on, man. And like there's a storm coming. Just real quick, my fault, Hutch, but just real quick, there's a storm coming across, and I watched this weather dude. He's just a YouTuber. He does nothing but weather. Maybe I can share the channel with y'all. I'll share it on my community if I remember. And he's talking about this storm that's going to be hitting the northeast coast, and it could bring up to 100-mile-an-hour winds, man. And the way that it's circulating, it's going to affect the coastlines, and it's going to flood the coastlines too. When do you hear about a storm coming from the west, off of land, that's going to have 100-mile-an-hour wind gust, man? That unless it's a damn tornado or something, but they're just talking about it's just a storm coming across. What the hell's going on, man? You know what I mean?
Straight line winds that strong? That's crazy.
Have any of y'all heard about anything? Yeah, see, Ghetto Prepper talking about we're getting slammed right now. He's in Oregon, if I'm not mistaken. He's in Oregon, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Monique just said it took it. She's in Canada. She said it took it.
Did I miss it? The port is closed. All trains are stopped, and Vancouver is cut off completely as the highways are all out. I mean, it's some crazy. There's already. They said there's going to be like cattle and stuff like that. They're going to be in huge danger of a lot being wiped out. Human life.
They had people on jet skis trying to get cattle out of there.
What are you looking it up?
No, I mean I was watching it earlier. They were sitting there like hours ago. They had people trying to get like livestock out of there, and they had this dude on a jet ski like almost falling off, trying to get this cow to move through this water, and stuff's like all the way up to his head. He had his head raised out of the water, all the way up to his shoulder blades. I mean, it's flooded, man.
That's crazy, man. I mean, that's even more food being wiped out, you know, and prayers for all the people that are going through this stuff. You know what I'm saying? But in all honesty, man, you got to look at the bigger picture. What's the after effects of all this? I know it's terrible for them right now, but the terrible don't end after the flooding's gone. Like even more bad stuff comes out, the effects of it all. You know what I mean?
You know, we've talked about all this before, though. Everyone said how fragile our infrastructure, how fragile everything is. That if you knock it off course, it could be like detrimental, and we're seeing it now. We're seeing all these little things, labor shortages, and all this stuff just taking apart. And normal people will look at me. If I never looked at the news and I'm sitting there going to the store, I'm like, oh man, my favorite whatever's not in here, and I'd keep shopping and ignore it. You know what I mean? Won't pay attention to it. I went to go get some food today, and they had some stuff that wasn't even there, shrinkflation, all that kind of stuff. I mean, a lot of stuff changes if you pay attention, but I mean, we're fragile, like the EWPN that Hutch put out earlier.
Yeah,
I'm just saying, everything's going to start bouncing off each other and happen. It's going to sweep across.
Is this storm going to have an impact on the boats that are still sitting out there on the ports?
Oh, shit.
Up and down the West Coast?
Yeah, ain't that what Monique? Now we get no ships coming in, and we can't export any of our grain and fertilizer.
Oh God!
I mean, it's terrible, man. It's terrible.
How long is all this supposed to last? Like, how much further would it put stuff back?
I'm not sure, man. I had to do some more digging. You know, Nisi, with everything going on, man, it's real hard. Like, man, with all this news coming out, it's hard to get the details on everything. But a lot of people in the chat, appreciate you, chat. Press 1. Y'all are killing it. Y'all are putting it out there for us, man. I'm learning a whole lot just from the people in the chat telling us different things. So if you're rewatching this on the replay, make sure y'all are clicking that replay of the chat, because the chat is on fire. They know what's going on, man. They are on it.
Well, you figure it. The silver lining is that it happened after a crop season, you know, a harvest growing season. So if they had crops in the ground, at least they didn't lose those. Now the problem is, what's the loss of life when it comes to the beef that they're going to have up there? Is that going to affect their food supply? You know what I mean? All these little things start coming into play now on top of everything else. It's crazy.
And they've already had like record heat waves and stuff up there. Like Canada, man. It's got to be a little nerve-wracking to be Canadian these days, or in the past year at least. Not to mention the tyrannical government they deal with. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Jesus. Press 1. Man, I'm glad we did this live, man. I'm glad it helps me just personally, man, when we get on these live streams and hang out with the chat and everything, and we talk about stuff, man, you get a lot of stuff off your chest, you know what I mean? And you learn so much. And I mean, it doesn't help the fact that a lot of bad stuff is going on, but you know,
at least we know.
Yeah, man.
That way we can do that shit.
Yeah. So if you're out there in Canada, man, be careful. And to everybody on the Northeast, really start checking out the weather. Check out, you know, what you can. Find out what you can. We'll try to put out some stuff on it. The more we learn, you know, I'm catching bits and pieces here and there about stuff. I know it's coming. And we got to batten down the hatches, man, because it's going to get rough. But and who knows, man? What is this winter gonna do? I'm a little worried about this winter, man. I think we're gonna have a bad winter. I think it's gonna be cold as shit. I told Nisi, I said I think I can see Maryland, just Maryland, but I can see Maryland going through a couple feet of snow this year for some reason. I don't know. It's just a guess, but or maybe even a big snowstorm and then an ice storm on top of it. That's the worst. Or an ice storm, then the big snowstorm, because then underneath the snow is all just a sheet of ice. And, you know, them ice storms are the worst, man. They take out your power and everything. It could take weeks to get it back on. You know what I mean? So make sure you get your heaters, you know, get your backup heaters in place. Make sure you got your pipes wrapped up in some warm stuff, you know. Prep up, people, prep up. Crickets. What are y'all doing? Crickets. Back up. Help is on the way.
We're being interactive. The chat talks about they're never involved. We're listening to what you guys got to say.
Let's be honest, man. The chat is kicking our ass tonight. The
Right.
chat has more info than we could ever be putting out right now. You know what I'm saying? Chat, y'all are killing it tonight. Appreciate y'all so much, man. Thank y'all for being here too. No bullshit. But y'all know this. Y'all know this, man.
See, that's what I'm thinking. We're gonna get ice storms this year. POTB remembers 2007, I think it was. Them ice storms we had then.
Yeah,
I think we're
January.
gonna have something that's a little
Really
bit bigger than that. You know,
Yeah.
Dude, that was no joke, man. That destroyed so many trees and I had like an inch. It was almost like about 3/4 of an inch of ice surrounding my entire vehicle. I went out there with like a blowtorch and like a little chisel and stuff like that. I was literally trying to break my car open.
yeah, it was real deal, man.
But see,
There
now,
were phone lines,
we have
literally. The electric lines were literally
Yeah.
a foot off the ground just because they were bowing. So, man, that shit was crazy.
so much weight on all that stuff though, and you saw how fast it all went down, man. Even out in the country, we had issues with looting too, which was pretty interesting. I don't know what was happening closer into the city, but I honestly, every time we have a winter, and I know that not everybody is always prepared for it, but I hope we have a really bad winter. Only because I hate mosquitoes and flies, and they all need to die. So
Yeah.
have
Yeah.
bad enough winter, the next hunting season is gonna be good.
Hey, that's a little overkill, man.
A little overkill? My bad.
That's a little overkill.
Okay, so not as much ice. Okay, maybe keep the power on, but just really freeze the ground good. All right? There we
Or you
go.
can get some off. You know what I mean? Just get some off.
Right? A little deet here and there never hurt. You know what I'm saying?
The hell they ever do to you, man?
But we all know Pop B. Like you could like I could hit Pop B tomorrow and be like, hey man, we're being attacked by China. He'd be like, don't fucking play with me, man. Are you serious? He would go crack a beer and be like cheering through the house. It's on! It's on! You know what I'm saying? Like he is the worst doomsdayer I know, man. He's just like looking forward to Mad Max more than anybody else I know, man.
I'd have my kids and my wife looking at me like, really?
Right.
Like, that's hilarious. They're on the coast. Go mow the yard. Okay, honey.
Right.
She's looking at you like, I know you're only saying that because I'm here. I'm gonna cut you later, motherfucker.
Hey, she might, man. Asians do that stuff, you know?
You ain't got to tell me nothing.
Right.
I sleep with one eye open every night. Nah, I'm just kidding.
Leave the door open too. That way you can escape. You know.
Right.
Don't give them the opportunity to lock that door.
I've got hiding places in my home. What you talking about? I have secret hiding places inside my house. You know what I'm saying? we all know the women rule the world. Press 1. It is what it is. Women rule. Silence.
Right.
Because y'all can't say nothing. Y'all know damn well y'all can't argue that. You know what I'm saying?
Please see the first one. Press 1.
Oh hell
I
yeah!
can argue it, but the risk reward is not balanced.
Yes sir. Yes sir. No doubt.
Oh Lord.
Man, for an impromptu, I don't even know what that word is, man, but we got 100 people here with us, man. What's up? Well, 100 people in the chat. I don't know. There might be some people watching that ain't in the chat too, man. Hopefully. Appreciate y'all, man. It's so good to hang with y'all. I know we just did this last night, but, you know, I didn't want to, you know, being the 1 year thing last night, I didn't really want to tap into, like, a bunch of different stuff that ain't really too good to talk about. You know, it's like, I mean, it's good to talk about, but it ain't good news is what I'm saying. So tonight, man, I was just thinking, man, we could really, you know, get into it, man. I know everybody's thinking about all this shit. I know it's on everybody's mind. So why not, you know, sit back and have a conversation about it, man. Talk it through, man. We might, you know, wake somebody up that ain't paying attention that, you know, might be able to save their home or something. Put some 2x4s on the windows or something, man, with this storm coming through, or keep an eye out for this smallpox shit. I mean, shit, man. What do y'all think? Do y'all think with all the shit that's going on with that, do y'all think that we're going to see something happen? Do you think we'll have a smallpox outbreak?
I think they get rushed into their plans. And like a lot of things, I think the coup, I think it got rushed because of HK rising up and doing protests for their freedom and all that stuff. You know what I mean? All of a sudden, ain't nobody hear about that no more. It's just gone. You know?
Yeah.
No one knows whatever happened to that. But I think they got rushed into it, so that happened. And now those things have been found. Were they supposed to be found? Was it literally supposed to just incite fear? You know what I mean? Or was it an accident? And they're like, oh crap! Now we might as well just go ahead with it.
Yeah. Yeah, because
from the get-go, but they were expecting more unity.
Yeah.
I say this, like you said, if they rushed a plan,
yeah.
But that's just a small part of the plan. So if you rush one part of it, are you rushing the whole thing? So now everything else is being rushed to go on top of it to go along with,
Yeah.
I mean, if I started a live stream 10 minutes early, I couldn't just start that 1 minute and sit there for 9 minutes. Like, I got to keep going on with it. So they're going to keep going on with whatever the hell they're planning or trying to put together or whatever, man. It's the great reset, right? I mean, that's what everybody says, man. It's the great reset.
Yeah. Well, the way I'm leaning toward is like, I'm not 100% on any of this, but the way I'm feeling that I'm leaning toward right now is that pretty much, if you look at the decline of POTUS, it's visibly getting worse every time you see him. Yeah. So at some point, they've got to bring Kamala in, but the fact that she's literally the most hated person on the planet, you know what I mean, kind of makes it hard to just be like, hey, look, now everybody's got to listen to this shit. You know what I mean? So it's, I think, depending on his health, I think they're going to make him do something that's just so stupid and drastic that he has to be replaced. If they would welcome Kamala in, like, hey, at least she's not dead.
Oh, they're starting their campaign for her again. They're making it racist and sexist, I think it was. So they're starting. Well, that's Saki, man. She's starting her little campaigning for her again. Why she's so hated is just because of those bad people. It's not anything else.
You know what? I'm sure y'all have heard this too, but I've been hearing that they're kind of trying to push Buttigieg in front of Kamala.
Yeah.
Y'all heard about that? Like, how is that? Is that possible? I'm not very smart when it comes to stuff. Can they do that? Can they push somebody above the vice president?
I don't see how they could.
There's a lot of stuff they're not supposed to be able to do that they're pushing through and doing anyway.
You got that right.
They're already pushing the balance constitutionally for a whole bunch of telling people to ignore court rulings and stuff. Like, they're already doing way more than they should be allowed to.
Could they? Is there a way that? Okay, say Joe flops out and they don't want Kamala. Is there a legal way for the House and the Senate and all the Supreme Court or however to actually be like, no, the people hate you so much, in layman's terms, that we cannot allow you to be president. We have to do something else. I know it's never been done, but is that a possibility? Could that happen?
I'll let POT be, because I was watching Ohio and Firefly and thinking about what they're talking.
I was reading it too, man. Say it one more time, Hutch. My bad, dude.
You guys are killing me. I can't even get it out the first time. Now I got to.
Sorry, brother. Sorry, man.
Okay. Something happens to Joe. He's got to go no matter what.
Yeah.
They don't want to put Kamala in. So could they use the excuse that her ratings are so low that they could legally replace her and be like, no, we can't allow you to be president because you're hated so much?
Ohio Prepper just said that she would have to be impeached for them to overtake her role, which sounds legit. You know what I'm saying? Like, Ohio knows what she's talking about, man. I've seen her talk a lot in the chats, man. She's spot on with a lot of stuff, man.
That makes sense. So then, wouldn't her lack of literally her only job is the Mexican border, and she ain't been there a single time. So wouldn't ethically that put her up for what I mean?
Impeachment.
Yeah.
They could find a way if they really wanted to. I mean, it's like Pop B said, they're doing so much stuff that they shouldn't be allowed to do anyway. But they can find a way to do whatever they want. I mean, So if they really want Kamala out of there and somebody else to come in, they would probably figure out a way to do it. There would be some way of impeaching her for something. They probably got so much dirt on every single person that comes up in there when they put them in places of power, just in case they get out of control, out of their control, that they can hit them up and do away with them. You know what I mean? Am I reaching too far? I truly believe that. I think that when they get these Kamalas and people of the sort, they have dirt on them.
Oh, yeah.
They know they have dirt on them, and that's an easier way to control when it comes to the elites and deep state.
I'm of the mindset that I mean, it may not be this simple, but it's pretty much, hey, as soon as you get voted in, you wake up with a dead hooker in your bed and a couple pictures. Like, hey, welcome to the team. You know what I mean?
Right.
Those kind of things.
Hey, check this out from Georgiana. She says she is not a naturalized citizen, so can't be president. Neither of her parents were born here. That's interesting.
Do you think it would stop it?
No. But I don't think they want Kamala as president. I really don't. I just don't think that they would have had, I don't think they had enough backing anyway, but I think without Kamala, they wouldn't have had enough backing for Biden to push him the way they did. So I think she was just used because she was a woman of color, you know, shit like that, man. I mean, to be honest.
Was she the only person of color chick that ran? I know there was I can't even remember who all ran.
Well, she was the most known, you know what I mean? I can't think of somebody else on that side that had her clout as far as being known and been all over the TVs and everything, but I also think that they think that she is not that she's not the smartest in the world. Like I think she's probably smart as hell when it comes to laws or something like that, because that's what she dealt with. But when it comes with other stuff, man, I mean, she sounds like, she doesn't sound very smart at all when she's speaking and stuff, man. It's like wow, this is the vice president of the free world. Like you don't sound very smart, chick.
Well, if you compare Kamala to Hillary, it's almost identical. You know, they've always been in the background. Like the only difference is Kamala had like 7 different, you know, opportunities to advance, while Hillary just got lucky and had to only ride the one. You know what I mean? But it was kind of the same thing. Right. They just pretty much sucked off the success until they got to the point like, hey, look at me now. You know.
Yeah. Do you think, you know, nobody's talking about that anymore. Like everybody's talking about the presidency in 2024. I don't even know if we'll get there with the way shit's going. I don't know if there'll be a presidential election or not. I don't know what the hell this world's getting ready to turn into, but in 2024, man, like everybody's silent on Hillary. Nobody's talking about, well, will Hillary run again? Like, do you think they're being completely silent on her and took her completely out so people, you know, because people have short memories, man. Do you think they could actually bring her back in to put her in a position of power?
I think they got enough dirt on Hillary that they can be like, nobody likes Hillary. Her own kids and mama don't like her. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like, hey, we've got all this shit that we did for you. You go sit your ass down and just leave us the hell alone. I think it's one of those kind of situations. Because anything that she's associated with is going to bring so much heat and so much drama, you know what I mean, that she can't ever be a public figure again, for real.
Yeah. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. Man, I just love this chat tonight. Y'all have been on fire. I'm serious, man. I'm getting like, I forget I'm live for a second because I just start reading the chat, man. Y'all are just killing it, man. I'm telling you. The tribe chat just be killing it. I said it in some videos, man. I be trying to tell people, man, y'all need to come over here and hang out with the chat, man, because these people are on fire 24/7. Press.
I will say though, a lot of people are thinking that what's Barry's wife, Michelle Obama. A lot of people are saying that she's going to start making an appearance, but I'm honestly thinking that within 10 years, I think Obama's going to pop back up as just a single guy and be making some power moves.
I don't know, man. I really, I feel what you're saying, man, and I know there's other people that feel, I've heard other people say not the exact same thing, but, stuff like that.
Right.
I don't think I think Obama has done enough, and he has enough pull behind the scenes to where he don't even need to be in the spotlight. I think he's going to stay away from it all, man, and I don't think he's going to want his wife to be a part of it neither. Like, they're going to lay back, they're going to do their thing, push their little buttons from behind.
At a point, though, it's going to be, because he's young enough that he's going to outlive Pelosi and Schumer and all the old sons of bitches that run it now. So eventually here pretty soon, he's going to be, King Ding-a-ling, old school, you know what I mean? The one that they pretty much grew up idolizing. So, if he was in charge of the AOCs and the younger group, imagine the damage that he could do, because them crazy sons of bitches would worship everything that he said. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
The power potential that he's got, if he played it right, is ridiculous. You know what I mean?
I don't think I've given enough. I've got to point out something here, and this is big, man. This is big. This y'all are gonna be surprised when I say this, but this is a live stream, and we have Mrs. Prepping Outside the Box on screen with us, hanging with us right now, folks. Right now, we have Mrs. Prepping Outside the Box. Hello, hello, hello. I'm so glad you're here. You've been hanging out with us for a long time now. I'm surprised. I'm like, yes. Let's get her thoughts on it. So what's your thoughts on things?
Hillary's not coming back. And I'm just waiting for it all to burn. I don't even care about who comes into office.
Maybe I've been rubbing off on her a little too much. Like,
I know, man. Y'all are definitely married. That's for sure.
Right.
That's cool, though, man. That's cool.
I'm not worried about it because I just don't care, because it's all a bunch of BS.
Yeah. I'm with you. Are you worried at all about like the smallpox stuff and all this stuff, or do you just think it's propaganda and they're trying to scare?
I'm just waiting for them to fire me, because I think they're gonna find a way to make it impossible not to get
the thing.
Oh, she working for the state, so she's waiting for waiting for. I was like, hey, just ride the wave until it goes done, and if it doesn't, still got a job, and if not, but for the smallpox thing, because they found those vials.
What are you talking about?
Yep, I have not been filling her in.
Oh, you got. I'll fill you in real quick. There's Bill Gates come out and he was doing this thing about smallpox and how we got to worry about weaponized smallpox. Then a couple days later, they find 5 vials of smallpox. There was somebody cleaning out a refrigerator, and they found 5 vials labeled smallpox, and they were in, I think, where was it? Pennsylvania?
I thought it was Philly. Was it
Philly? So anyway, but there's only 2 places in the entire world where they store the smallpox because it's so dangerous, and that's Russia, and where's the other place? At Atlanta
CDC.
Yeah, and so it's like, and it's just so not coincidence in my opinion. So it's like really making me wonder: is this going to be something that the world's going to have to deal with?
Well, I think that what's his name? Bill Gates is trying to be the savior of the world with this vaccine and with this.
Oh, watch out, we say.
It's okay.
Well, that's what I think he's trying to do, but anything he touches, I wouldn't trust. So.
No doubt.
Stuff starts coming to fruition.
Anything they can throw at us to fear, they're gonna do it, and then they're gonna try and be the saviors. So.
Yeah, that's a good point.
That's how I see their play.
Yeah. We don't talk about that a whole lot. They really do. Anytime something happens, they try to walk around like they're trying to save the world when we know they don't give 2 shits about us. I mean, anybody that's got, thoughts on it, we know they don't care. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
but they're also creating all these problems. So they're the creators and they're the ones, but they're profiting off of everything. So
Yeah. Yeah.
There's mad profits going on, which just makes me think. Hold on, should we go on the stock market right now and get a little bit of money into whatever these smallpox, vaccines
Yeah.
are real quick? Just kind of just pump the numbers real quick and get ready.
Yeah. Invest, invest, invest.
All that stuff. Can you imagine? All that stuff goes down and the numbers just skyrocket. And everybody in this community just makes a shit ton of money. We just buy land and just get completely off the grid.
Yeah. Start our own damn little country. You know what I mean?
Right.
Hey, I do have something that some people might not have heard about, which you might have heard about, but you might not have. Somebody out there might not have heard of. But do you know that Jay-Z was informed by the FBI to erase his emails? Now think about that. Like, I know right off the bat, you're like, okay, FBI telling him to erase his email. But one, how does the FBI know that? Why do they know that he has emails that need to be erased, for one?
Yeah.
Why are they telling Jay-Z to erase emails? And you think about this whole Astro World thing that just happened. And why would the FBI, like, it just doesn't make, FBI don't want people erasing their, Jay-Z must be in deep with these people, man. You know, when they talk about Illuminatis and all that kind of stuff, man, you got to really wonder.
Oh, they were telling him that because they think he's going to get hacked.
Yeah, but I mean, what does he have in his? I mean, he should have emails to like rappers and stuff, and fighters and entertainment stuff. Like, why is it so important that the FBI reaches out to Jay-Z? What does he have that could get hacked? That could be a national concern.
Maybe he knows a lot more. Yeah, well, I mean, how close was he to the administration back in the day? You get some emails back and forth to some high-ranking officials. You know what I mean? You think it's all security, and ain't nobody gonna mess with you on that, and then all of a sudden they're gone. I could see that. He might be privy to some information he's not supposed to.
Yeah. It's deep, man. It's deep. Makes me wonder. It's craziness, man. Y'all should do some looking into it, though. It's all these different little things. And you got to think, Jay-Z and Beyonce, man, they're huge figures, in the black community.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, they're some of the top folks, and a lot of white folks too. I mean, Beyonce's loved, man. You know what I mean? So how powerful are these people, man?
Yeah. Man, I don't know. Now I'm gonna have to start doing some digging.
Hey, that's interesting what Lori just said. I don't want to say that word, but...
Oh, what?
You know what I'm saying? You never know. You never know.
That'd be messed up. Yeah, you want to...
Did y'all see anything about... Now, this might be old news or something. I seen a headline and I seen a picture of Elon Musk and Tom Cruise. And they're supposed to be joining in to do something together. Man, there's so much shit going on. Oh, shit, I'm burning myself up. There's so much shit going on. There's so much shit going on, man. Get me all hyped. I'll be thinking about all kinds of different stuff, man.
You're literally on fire right now, man.
Got me all over the place, burning up my computer. What the hell? Oh, shit. I need a fire extinguisher. Niecy, help.
Oh, Jesus.
Where the Hutch go, man? Hutch disappeared on us.
He keeps dipping out, man.
Man, I tell you, man, we pretty much, tapped into everything that I've been dealing with today or looking at today, man. I don't know if y'all have some other stuff. I mean, I ain't in no rush to go, man. I'm enjoying myself. I'm enjoying the chat. I'm enjoying the talk. I ain't in no rush. I
will. I didn't know if you wanted to talk about Belarus or anything, but I did want to sit there and tap on one thing that I talked about earlier with you. How yesterday we were talking about that Kyle Rittenhouse thing going into possible mistrial with prejudice.
Right.
Now it's not with prejudice. Now it's just mistrial. whole thing would start over again. If that was to be accepted and things like that. And I don't know what's going to go on because there's a lot of, I mean, it's a waiting game right now. I knew that I didn't know shit because I don't know what's going to happen in the future, but I didn't think they were going to make it very fast. But if they come up and they have a verdict tomorrow, I'm going to go ahead and say that I'm going to say I was right, that they're waiting for the coldest day of the week.
Yeah.
Like ain't nobody going out now.
Did you
degrees out.
Did you see what Rip Curl dropped earlier about pallets of bricks showing up in Kenosha?
Oh, yeah. Well, was that like a joke or was he serious? There's actually stuff out there right now.
I think he was serious. He dropped another comment afterwards. I threw it up on the screen. I forget what the words were, but I think he said yes, that they're there to help with the windows or something like that. But I don't know if it's rumor or not, man. I don't know. I haven't seen it, but it's just mentioned.
I heard somebody say that the other day, but I was like, was that old story from the last time it happened, or like did it just happen?
That's what I'm curious about. But I mean,
there it is right there. Rip Curl says they are out there.
Does it even matter too much? You could have some high-ranking officials go out there and throw the first brick, and they could video the whole thing, and then in 2 weeks it'd be brushed under, and ain't nobody gonna care about it anymore. People will be concentrated on some other incident that happened. Be like, no, this dude started it. No. Hold on.
Let me ask you something about it though, Pop B. Do you think that the defense is getting worried now though? Usually when it comes back quick, it's a not guilty. Usually when it takes a couple days, it's guilty, right? Am I right about that? That's what they say in lawyer terms and stuff. They like the longer it takes, the more you're looking at probably a guilty on something. So do you think
they dive a lot more into information and talk a lot more instead of making a decision? Yeah.
So do you think that now the defense is desperate and that's why they're like, okay, we don't need it without prejudice. We just need a mistrial because we need to redo this. It seems like they're getting nervous.
It's weird, man. They were cracking jokes. The jury was. They were sitting there when they were letting them go, and he said, "You guys are going to have the courtroom. We're all going to get out of here. No one's in my chair." And they're like, "How you going to know?" And he's like, "Oh, you got like they were cracking jokes with the judge and stuff. The jury, they're calm, they're collect. I think. I mean, that's what it seemed like. I don't know. I feel like they're waiting for something. They probably already have the verdict. I bet."
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. That's speculation. That's not real news. That's my opinion that they already have the verdict. But I do think they are a little worried. I don't know, but I and it probably is because it's going too long. But yeah, when they were sitting there saying we still want to push for a mistrial, I understand it's not with prejudice, and they're gonna file it again. Because they'll have the ability, so they're already kind of planning for another case. And if they come back with anything guilty, I guarantee they're going to push that real hard and get into a little pissing competition with the judge and the prosecution to get it a mistrial. I bet. I really do.
All right, I'm gonna ask you one more question, man. Do you think there's any way that this guilty or not guilty could be completely done just to control the mob? Do you think that this could actually be where the jurors think he's not guilty, but they give him a guilty just to?
I mean, people get intimidated and scared. They don't want to be the one that's going to have to deal with the loud voices. You know what I mean? It's not the majority of the country. Most of us just want to go along to get along, go hunting, go have fun, and or prep or whatever you do. You want to go do the stuff and not be hassled.
Right.
People that are sitting there and always wanting to have a confrontation about something stupid and always having to stand up, even if they don't even know what they're standing up for, but they can go throw bricks and shop for Christmas. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All those people are the ones that you got to worry about. But I don't know if it's going to go good either way. I think you'd have some faction of people that would stand up if it was a guilty verdict. For the people that actually watched it. But if it comes back and he's acquitted of everything, I think it opens up the door for a lot more people to be braver in standing up and doing something, whether it be in right mind or not. I mean, it could be dangerous, could be getting a lot of people to do it, and then all of a sudden they screw their whole life up because they don't understand what they're doing. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's toss up, man.
It's tricky, man. I didn't think about that maybe a minute today. Yeah. I don't know why. It's kind of weird because I just didn't, man. I just didn't think about that. I was thinking about so many other things.
Well, we shouldn't have to think about this on a national level at all. An incident like this should not have to be something that we're like constantly looking at, because it's literally going to affect everybody. It's going to affect the jurors, their lives. It's going to affect so much. The integrity of the system's kind of gone when you sit there and you bring in people to intimidate and they're worried for their own safety. How can you take anything that anybody does as a real verdict if there's going to be all these outside influences? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Did you hear about the other file?
Oh yeah, that dude is guilty. I bet. That was
because he was.
You don't chase down somebody and then do it. That ain't.
You talking about the Ahmaud Arbery? Yeah. I don't know how to say his name.
Once someone's running away and you are no longer personal property or anything in danger, drop it.
Yeah.
They pursued. They're gonna get in trouble. I bet. I don't know. I'm not a freaking lawyer.
He was law enforcement too, so he should know better on top of that. So he might get smacked a little bit extra harder on top of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll say this. If them two dudes are excuse me. If those two dudes are let off and they're not found guilty, without a doubt, I'm going to say they're doing this shit on purpose and they want the streets to go into an uproar.
You'd have to. What kind of technicality could you get for chasing someone down? Gone.
Yeah.
It's not like he went in there and, shot your kid and then ran, because, at that point it's like, yeah, that's called justice. But I mean, I don't know. I have not followed that one closely, by the way, just to throw that out there for anybody in chat. I just know that you have to have those three things I always say: the ability, opportunity, and jeopardy. And if that person's running away from you and you're not in danger, you lost it.
Right. What's up, Prepper 101?
I'm in the shower, man. I'm going old school for this one. It's too cold to be in the clubhouse.
This is outdoor shower.
No doubt. Man, it's crazy, but
we got snow this morning. For about 10 minutes, we had snow.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Damn. I know you were probably talking to 101 and stuff, but still, it's kind of shocked me, man. I didn't think snow was here yet.
No, the snow thing I was just throwing out there.
I got you. All right, so I did want to tap into that Poland, Ukraine, Belarus, migrants. I'm gonna throw a shout out there. The New York Prepper. New York Prepper has been on top of this since they first started showing up with the migrants and all that. He's been on top of the La Palma thing too. So if y'all go check out New York Prepper. But man, he's dropping some videos, man, and it's showing some wild shit. There's like tons of migrants trying to get into. Man, I'm gonna get confused, man. I've thought about so much tonight. Why don't y'all break it down, man? I think they're trying to get into Poland, and like the other government is like using the migrants to mess up Poland or something like that.
I don't have a lot of. You know what? You could probably go to chat and get some pretty good information.
We need you again, chat. We need you again, press one. We need you again. Hit us with the facts. What's going on with these? It's bigger than just some people trying to get into another country. Is from what I'm picking up from New York Prepper, man, and the stuff that he's, laying down, man. It's like one country is using the migrants to go against another country in a type of way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then you got Russia and Ukraine, of course, because America has been helping out Ukraine, I guess you would say, and Russia don't want Ukraine to be a big part of. I can't think of the thing it's called, man, but like, it's just kind of, these people are out there, man. They're freezing. They're out there. They're cold. They're hungry. Some of them, they're saying they haven't ate for 5 days.
They're in talks now. Merkel and I'm not even going to try to butcher his name, but Lukashenko. But they're in talks, and I did read an article earlier that they were moving people from those like frozen places to a little bit more of a nicer area, I guess you could say, to kind of deal with some of those issues. But still, man, if you ever seen a refugee camp? Yeah. That stuff turns sideways fast. 2,000 people all crammed together in an area, and you sit there and there's so much crime that goes on involved in all that stuff. It's not even funny. It's a dangerous thing, man. And if you don't, it's not even about them getting in or out of a place so much as what they're doing to each other within their little camps,
Right.
From the Washington Post, it said months after Belarusian President Alexander Lukashenko unleashed a migrant crisis against the European Union. Basically, he had a whole bunch of migrants, and since he didn't like the sanctions of the country next to him, he tried to force all those migrants to cause a thing on like a border crisis for that other country because he didn't like the deal they had going on. Is what it turned out to be, but it turned out to bite him in the ass because they never left. So now they're scrambling to figure out what he's going to do with that kind of thing.
Right. I mean, I've seen videos, from New York Prepper, man, where they're like shooting water at these people. It's like aggressive, man. I think you can hear gunshots in some of the videos. Fences being torn down. People, you hear women screaming, and it's blood curdling. What do they call it? Blood curdling screams or something. Where it's like it's hard to listen to, man. When you hear a woman, I can't stand to hear a woman scream like that, man. She's in danger, or she's scared to death, something. And they're out there starving. There's little kids out there. It's not a warm place. It's got to be cold as hell out there. You know what I mean?
Could you imagine getting off the plane as a refugee? Like you just left, like literally in the middle of a war, with a gunfight and shit. You land in this country, like, oh my God, we're safe. And as soon as you get off the plane, you're like, no, get to this camp right now. You guys, you know what I mean? And then they just start trying to push you into somebody else's yard. You know what I mean? It's crazy. That's exactly what's going on. It's crazy.
Oh shoot!
See, that just goes to show, though, it doesn't take logic for somebody to do something stupid to kick off something huge like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Never overlook pride. Because pride is what starts every war. You know what I mean? Logic ain't got nothing to do with nothing when it comes to somebody getting pissed off. You know what I mean?
Hey, Bug Dude, that's a big problem with our nation, probably with the world as a whole, is we've got the attention span of a 2-year-old, man. News constantly. There's enough bad and wrong and all this stuff going on. So you say, what about the Haitians? We could say, what about a lot of things that never got resolved? You know what I mean? There's an issue. We talk about it hard for like a week or two, and then as it just kind of gets, like everything else, man, you get beat to death with it. You're like, okay, just go away. Get it away from me. And we just kind of accept it.
I mean, look, what happened to Afghanistan and 90,000 people coming over here and 13. Rest in peace to the soldiers, the Marines, 13 Marines dying. And then, boom, they hit us with, okay, well, now there's immigrants coming from Asia or Haitian descent or whatever it is. And they're coming in and they're underneath a bridge and they're busing in. And now, boom, none of that's there. It's just a Kyle Rittenhouse fucking court thing. And it's crazy, man.
And then it'll be another protest or something else. It's a constant change, man.
Yeah,
we're all living on a shaky ass game of Jenga right now.
Right.
Yeah. And I hate to be, doomsday, but we don't do the doomsday thing all the time. So I mean, we're just talking about stuff that's really going on. And I mean, the more the more we talk about it, the more some people might be able to wake up, man. People that have never watched this before, people that ain't, you know, in the prepping community all the time, man. Maybe they'll get, you know, get the wake up call, man. There's some stuff going on, man. Get your preps in order. Get some water, get some food, get some extra blankets. Cause now you also got to worry about Candace Owens, man. Candace Owens, I hate to tap back into it, but Candace Owens, man, blackout, 2-3 weeks, no power. Whole country goes down, no power, no internet, no phones, no refrigerators, no stoves. What you gonna do when your freezer and your refrigerator and your heat ain't there and it's 30 below outside? What you gonna do? Well, I'll put the big screen up, Hutz.
Food preps.
Oh my god.
Oh, goody.
Hey, push comes to shove. I'm just saying.
Hutch is the new Tiger King.
For dinner.
What?
Straight Kitty Cafe.
No doubt.
Probably would.
We probably got more likes just from showing that little kitten.
Right.
Then we've got likes all, you know what I mean? Thumbs up, went way up when the kitten showed up.
Right.
So what the hell was I just went squirrel, fellas. What the hell was we just?
You mentioned Candace Owens, and I got a little.
Yes.
But that whole, when you see someone, and she even calls herself some like, you know, what do they say? What do they call themselves? Those city elites or whatever, you know, the freaking out there on the coastal areas acting like they know and they don't know shit, you know. Called herself out on it. I was like, man, you have people like that starting to talk about I'm gonna homestead. It should be a wake-up call.
Right.
Yeah.
Hey, there's urban hippies.
Okay, there's some urban hippies. So they got like at least 4 or 5 people that are gonna be good.
What?
She's sticking up for some of the city folk. She's from LA, man. Don't listen to her.
Oh,
LA in the house. LA in the house.
She had that California vibe. I've been trying to get it out of her.
and that's
Awesome,
why
Monique. Awesome.
Yeah, if I don't show up tomorrow, I got stabbed to death tonight. Okay, cool.
No doubt.
The way
No
they
doubt.
do it with Asians in LA. That hurt my soul right now.
So, man, damn it, I keep going squirrel, man. I want to go back to the Candace Owens, and I keep going squirrel on what I wanted to say, and dang it. But, yeah, man, what do you think? Why did they... Look, for one, it wasn't us that made it a big deal. I mean, of course, preppers are going to be like, hey, Candace Owens is talking prepper stuff. But, man, it is a big deal to have somebody like her come out, you know, political figure...
Yeah.
A woman come out and say, hey, look, we really, and it wasn't no small thing. Like when I watched it last night and was like, wow, she's like really fucking going there. It's like she's been in our community the whole time.
See, that's one of those things, like we've all been waiting for that, because the preppers have that tinfoil hat stereotype, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're all batshit crazy. But people like this actually kind of give us that validity to like, hey, you know, maybe it is a real thing. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like, I like Candace Owens, but I look at her more like hey, she's that stepping stone to kind of break that stereotype that we got. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But she's also, she has a lot of people who don't like her too. So I don't know, man, but she has a lot of people that do like her.
Can you find any information about this anywhere else? Because I searched and searched and searched, and the only thing was that one video. That's all I found.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't find it. Obviously, you know,
she's
Nisi hooked it up, but I mean, I didn't find no.
Lucky Dane Preparedness found it for us.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm saying not what she was talking about, that information, but just anything about her coming. Like, no one did an article or did he talk about it? Doesn't exist except for that video.
Yeah, I
can't find it.
I heard they took the video off of Facebook too. Am I correct?
Probably, man. I was looking all over the place. doing
when I first heard about it, it was the very first thing I heard. They were like, yeah, Candace Owen put out and I don't know who it was or what it was. You run through shit, I don't know. But they were like, yeah, Candace Owen put out a thing talking about, a huge blackout and get prepared. But Facebook took it down. That's what I heard. And I'm like, wow, it must be something serious if Facebook's taking it down. You know what I mean?
But I don't understand that, man. Why would you have a nation like China warn its citizens when it wants to, have them be safe or prepared or whatever you want to call it? But then we have somebody that comes out and goes, hey, what about this? And then all of a sudden it disappeared. Why would you not want it, even if it was not even true? Why would telling somebody to be self-sufficient be such a bad thing to put out there?
But see, did China tell its own people to stock up and be prepared?
Yeah.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
It was the Ministry of Commerce, I believe.
Yeah.
So see, I'm having a problem. I'm finding a contradiction then, because the whole last year, everybody was telling me that China's starving to death and they don't have enough food to do anything, and there's nothing. If it's that kind of situation, like if they're literally starving to death, why would they be like, hey, go grab everything that's left? You know what I mean?
They probably shortened some of their exports and all that kind of stuff. I mean, there's other nations that did that too. Stopped putting out as much because they needed some more at home. And they were, the whole thing was them just saying to go out and get daily necessities for future issues that can come about, plus of the food shortages coming around. But you got 1.4 billion people.
Let me ask y'all. Let me ask y'all this. Let's put it all together real quick.
All right.
Huge blackout. Huge blackout. Boom. Internet goes down. The grid goes down.
Crack.
Boom. Smallpox pops up. Can't let anybody know about it. Yeah. Easy way for it to spread rapidly. If nobody's getting information, nobody's getting a heads up that this thing is actually out and about.
Looting and rioting.
Huh?
Fastest way to get it out.
What'd you say?
Looting and rioting.
Yeah.
You shut down everything, and then you pull.
Yeah. Okay, I got you.
People go out in masses, man. You go
Yeah.
out there, and they contract it. They share it. They're all around each other. That's why you get a blackout. Block. I'm staying home. I'm staying home until I figure out exactly what's going on.
Right. Tell me this, Pop B. You was in the military, man. If a blackout happened, and all the normal ways of getting information was wiped out, tell us something that let me know something that I can do to find out information that I would not think of. I know this is a hard one, might not be, but what's a way to find out information when everything's down?
When everything's down? Well, I mean, it depends on how it happens, but I mean, because governments can control power grids and internet and all that kind of stuff. They can control phone lines and everything. They can pick areas to shut down, and they can pick services to shut down just to control that. And I don't say that as a crazy person. I say that because they've done it in other countries. They do it for testing and things like that to control people from cheating on their scores and all that kind of stuff. In some third world countries. Well,
let's say this. Since you always gotta throw the war games in there. Everything shut. There's no TV. There's no radio. There's no internet. What would you advise somebody that wants to know information and has no means of getting it by TV, social media, radio? Is there a place in a town that you could go? Should they go to the police and be like, "Hey, what's going on?" Should they just stay in their house and stay away from everybody? Should they?
I would see if there's other means of communication you'd probably still be able to utilize if you have a sat phone or things like that. Get a scanner. A scanner might be able to give you some information in the
electric's
area.
Gone.
The electric's gone?
Yeah, electric's gone. The grid is down.
Well, I mean, is the grid shut down, or is it?
Yes,
there's electronics are fried.
Yeah, well, there's no electric. I mean, if you got some battery powered radios, but let's take that out of the frame. We know that you can use a ham radio. We know that you can use a CB. We know that you can look on the internet for information. I'm talking about when all information is down from the normal ways that, and even the slight complicated ways of like ham radios and stuff like that. What's something people can do to get information when there is none out there?
That's what I'm saying. If you have some type of scanner and stuff like that, agencies that are going to be controlling stuff like the panic and chaos and all that stuff that they're going to have means of communication, unless it's something that actually fries stuff like a CME or something crazy catastrophic. If it was something that was like Candace Owen said, that was just shut down, you should be able to manipulate through a scanner and pick up some signals from various agencies that are reacting. You're not going to get a whole bunch of cryptid information, but you're going to get something that might give you an idea of what's going on, where they're putting food out, where they're putting supplies out, where they're trying to gather, whatever. You might get some of that kind of information out of it.
Okay, there's no scanners, there's no CBs, there's no ham radios, there's no telephones, there's no mechanical instruments to get information. What do people do?
You better. Well, that's when you're going to go into your other stuff, man. Are you one of those that plan on bugging out like myself, or are you one that plans on staying home and waiting until some information or something like that's easy to get? Because if there's no communications like that, it's broke down. People like a police station is not going to know what the hell's going on either. You'll go to them and they're not going to have that information readily available. You're still going to have. I mean, there's ways for military and stuff like that to keep communications and keep everything going, but it's going to have to trickle into you. And it sucks for somebody like me where I'm at, because usually the stuff, like I said, always happens on big cities and coasts and stuff like that and blends in. So I'm not going to hear stuff for a while. So most likely, if it happened, I would take a day, obviously, because I'm not going to do anything rushed. Yeah, you make mistakes, you forget stuff, you screw up. You have a grid down. If you can truly find out that it's a nationwide or worldwide thing, and you can by checking your phone and checking neighbors and their different kinds of signals or whatever, and seeing if vehicles work or whatnot, depending on what it is. Find your way to your location. Start implementing your little plans that you always sit there and train for and all that kind of stuff, because you're going to have to wait for information. Word of mouth is basically what I'm talking about until they roll in. Now the problem is it starts breaking down severely, and people are rolling in town because they're trying to control people from like destroying neighborhoods and I don't know, but I don't think they would literally come out to where I'm at. I'll say it that way though, because it's not somewhere what are you going to control a farm? You might utilize land and things like that for whatever they're doing, but you're going to go in there and control masses. You're going to go in there and try to steer around the population, the sheep.
So you think the smartest, let's say, I'm just talking about it, man, but let's say the EMP hits, everything smashed to shit. The smartest thing to do would to be bunker down in where you're at, or if you have a bug out place you can get there and just stay there and ride it out and hope that things get better with.
Hey, no matter what, if it's something that's that catastrophic, unless you have means of a way to travel, you're hunkering anyways. You're batting down the hatches, whatever you want to call it. So there's a whole get to know your neighbors. Get to know the people closest to you, people around you, whether you like them or not. You can learn a lot about them. They might have skills. They might have been doctors before. They might have been, you know what I mean? But get to know the people around you. You don't have to sit there and tell them that you're a prepper or you're doing anything. But when you have an idea of I'm in this neighborhood and I know where a doctor is, a mechanic is, I know where all these different people with these skill sets, because I went around and talked to them and seen how they got kids, and you talk to them, bring kids over there, and you start building a rapport with all these people. For one, if you build a rapport for them, it's going to help you out in that situation. And for two, you'll probably find people that are assholes in the first place, and you can avoid them and deal with them in a catastrophic event. But you'll also have your resources there. And if you can't go anywhere and you're stuck, that is who you're with, whether you like it or not. Unless you're going to start putting on a backpack and roaming down the road, which I wouldn't.
I started hiking it. I wasn't liking it. Saw a little kid that stole his bike and started biking it. No, I'm just kidding.
I went around. He pointed a gun at me. I said no.
Right.
No. But I mean, then again, I can do all this snare the whole time, and we could always throw caviars, in there and ruin every plan that I ever talk about.
Right.
Because
right.
no matter what, my plan is to bug out. You just say this scenario where I'm effed.
I just think it's, because it's Candace Owens, man, and what she said. And if this was to really happen, I think there's a lot of people out there that have no clue of what to do, what they would do. And it's important, man. I mean, if it's being talked about and it's that serious, maybe we should talk about it more. That's all. That's why I started talking about it, man, because maybe somebody's watching that, never really thought about it, man. And like, damn, what would I do if everything was shut down and I had no information and I didn't know what was going on? What's the safest thing for me to do with me and my family? Me, myself, I'm prepped up good enough to where I could chill for a little while at least. You know what I mean? I'm chilling it. I'm locking the doors. I'm chilling. I'm hoping my kids come over here, could get to me, the older ones that don't live with me and stuff. But I'm not going to go looking for information. I'm just going to wait and see. I'm going to keep my eyes on the sky, though.
Hey, that is why I was mentioning scanners, though. And I know Doc just put it in there, too. Scanners the way. If you're going to find information and you don't know how catastrophic it is, that'll tell you a lot. Because if you can't get shit on the scanner either, it is bad,
Yeah.
I mean, I've said it on here before. I was going through the channels. I was playing around with the new scanner I got, my little portable one. And I was listening to people's ham radio conversations. Ain't nothing secure. Ain't nobody around here do crypto. And I was just sitting there listening to these people talk away. And I was like, people got to be careful. Thinking ham radios are safe and stuff.
Remember back in the day, like my stepmama in the 90s, she had one of those old school police scanners that set up on the top of the waterbed. You know what I mean? And it played all day long. And you could get people's conversations on the telephone and stuff. And it'd be like a soap opera every day. You know what I mean?
It would even come on the TVs.
Right?
You remember that? When it would come through the TV? Yeah. All right. One last question, man. We're at 2 hours 6 minutes, man. So we don't want to run too long, but one last question. With everything that's going on, all the the smallpox news, the Candace Owens talking about a blackout, everything that's going on, man. If you was talking to someone that is not prepped whatsoever, and don't worry about food. We're not going to mention food. We're not going to mention water. But with everything that's going on, what's 3 preps that you would advise them to go out and get as far as like maybe, I'll just say fire starter, cook kit, and a lantern, something like that. Like what would be 3 things that you would tell them with the warning of maybe a blackout, maybe a smallpox, and all this stuff could happen at once, maybe riots in the streets because of this whole Kenosha thing.
I mean, and instead of going out to get stuff, I would tell them to get a book that's going to teach you how to do a shelter, how to do a fire.
Okay, but if you had to tell them 3 things, you always throwing shit in the game on me, man.
No. That's what I'm saying. One of the first things I would tell them is go get a book. And I've got some books that I could be like, hey, go look at this. Just it could be reading. It's nothing too crazy for anybody to go look through the book and be like, hey, I'm going to go teach my son how to start a fire. It's a bonding thing. So I could get that going. I could ask if they have any kind of protection, because no matter what, I don't want to be without a gun and or with a knife in a gunfight. So some means of protection that's sufficient, and obviously training that goes along with it. And no one's going to train enough. If it happened this winter, you're not going to have enough trade, but you could still know how to utilize it and be proficient. You know what I mean? Right. So it's never too late, obviously. But so knowledge, the skills, learning a book is good to go through.
I think that honestly is one of the best things you could tell somebody to start prepping is books. I really do. And I hate reading, but it is the truth. Like,
well, I mean, I've got the homesteading book she got me. It's literally the basics of homesteading, and you can break down a quarter acre and garden and all. I mean, it breaks down the plots, everything you need. Everything. All the wildlife, the animals, how to process them, like a crap load of information. But on top of that, if you're just that, I mean, that's just homestead. That's just getting, living a regular life. But something to teach them how to survive. Like Candace O's saying, do you know how to start a fire? So instead of getting a lighter or anything like that, which most people have anyways, how can you do it without one? But yeah, knowledge, gun, and if the last thing, man, what would be the last thing you tell them?
Well, you always need the Bible, thank God. But
there she goes. There she goes.
But I would, I don't know.
Press 1 for the Bible. Press 1 for the Bible.
You know what? Probably and you could always make stuff. And I know I just said learn skills to be able to do stuff and create stuff, but I mean, probably a good knife.
You need a good cooking pot.
A good cooking pot.
You're gonna want to eat.
Yeah.
Very true. Very true. All right, I'm gonna go to Hutch and see what his 3 things are. But
something you could cook on a fire, like an open flame pot.
Yeah.
Like
cast iron, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. No doubt. Let me ask you one more thing before we go to Hutch, though. How important do you think it is on a scale of 1 to 10? 1 being least important, 10 being very important. How important is it for every household, to have a form of communication like a ham radio or CB radio of some sort, or scanner?
Initially, pretty important, but if it's a prolonged event, not.
So right now, today and tomorrow, if somebody doesn't, on a scale of 1 to 10, what would your be advice? Would you advise them on a scale from 1 to 10? What would be your advice for them to go out and buy a ham radio, CB, or a scanner?
Hey, a scanner, a 10, 100%. I would not. If you didn't have any kind of radio communication or anything, the first thing I would ever get is a scanner, because at least the least of your thing, you could put an earbud in and you could scan, you can look for incoming transmissions from around your area, from all the people that got the little walkie-talkies from Walmart and they're talking shit and they're going around, if it started to get bad. You'd also be able to hear frequencies and stuff from like military, air, and fire, and all police, and all that cool mumbo jumbo. But scanner. And besides that, having a means of communication and just not talking bluntly about what you're doing, but in your own little ways with whoever you're with. And it might just be your family. But if someone has to go out there and do something and you're inside, you want to have some means of communication so they can at least just click it and say, I'm in trouble, something. So
right.
It's super important. But I mean, it comes down to if it gets really far into it, batteries only last so long. We can find out ways, but are you going to walk around with a solar panel on your back and your radio? You know what I mean? Like,
right.
There's only so many things we can do until some technology comes back to us in a shift situation. In my mind.
Gotcha.
I might be just who knows?
All right, what you think, Hutch? 3 things, man. 3 things before we end this thing.
Ask me the question again.
What's 3 preps? Not food, not water, shit like that. But what's 3 things that people should have in their household today, because of worries that we might have about the shit that's going on or the things being said around? You know what I mean?
Education, entertainment, and protection.
Entertainment.
So books, entertainment could be, games, board games,
cards, and stuff like that. Because I'm telling you right now, a lot of people, they romanticize that bunker life. But a lot of you guys are going to lose your shit once you get trapped in that little room for so long, or if you have to wait. Or if you make it to a certain point where you're 2 weeks and you can't leave your house, you start losing your damn mind. You need something, you need that creative outlet. You know what I mean? So you don't go Jeffrey Dahmer on everybody with you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hey, being bored is no joke. I'll get you.
Me myself, I would say top 3 would be. It's kind of going with what y'all said, but 1 is protection. 2 is a backup, because it's wintertime, I would say a backup heating source. And then 3 would be a backup way to cook food and stuff like that. Whether a Coleman stove or a fire pit, or knowing how to, stuff like that. Yep. Yes, indeed. All right, man. It's been real, y'all. You know what I'm saying?
A lot of information if you go through the whole entire stream.
Yeah, man. It's been a good one, man. Really appreciate y'all being here and we getting into it, man. It's been a fun stream, man. I've really enjoyed it. In chat, y'all know y'all have been top notch. Y'all are always the MVP. You know what I'm saying? And we appreciate y'all. It's been almost 2.5 hours, like 2 hours and 15 minutes. We're going to go ahead and shut her down. But we should be back tomorrow. Somebody will be going live tomorrow. It's Thursday. We're going to try to put some more stuff out. We'll be coming at you with some more EWPNs. We're trying to get it, y'all. We're trying to get it. Put some content out there. Hang with y'all. Unity. You know what I'm saying? All right, y'all. We're going to shut her down. Thank y'all for being here. Really appreciate each and every one of y'all. Until tomorrow. Holla at you when I smile at you.
EWPN.
Peace.